All right, what's going down in Toronto? We've got our home country star Felix Auger-Aliassime crashing out early, and Stefanos Tsitsipas has also lost. So we're going to check in on what is going on with those two guys. And Carlos Alcaraz makes it through. No surprises there, but in a great matchup versus Ben Shelton. So let's take a look at the draw, what's been going on in Toronto, in the home country, up here in Canada. Welcome to The Slice. Let's get rolling. All right, big news. If you haven't already, subscribe because that is scientifically proven through multiple studies that if you subscribe to The Slice, your tennis game actually gets better. You become a better athlete, you become more like Carlos Alcaraz, you just get better. So appreciate your support here on the show. If you're going to get your nutrients every morning, you should do it through AG1. Shout out to them for sponsoring the show. Link below for a special code from us. But special news. We are not in Toronto this year, as you know, but we will be somewhere else. You remember these? We're going to be putting these mics to use in Winnipeg this weekend. I'll be traveling to Winnipeg to kick off the Winnipeg National Bank Challenger that is hosted next week, and I can't be more excited. I've never really been to Winnipeg as an adult, and this tournament is stacked. It's a challenger level, so we see the players that are grinding to get onto the ATP main tour, next generation players, old stars that are coming in to try to get back into form. It's going to be awesome. So the player list has been announced, and Jack Draper is there. David Goffin, former world number 7. Liam Brody, Gabriel Diallo, rising Canadian star, just took out Dan Evans, still alive in Toronto, and a friend of the show, Alexis Gallarneau. Them and many more players will be there in Winnipeg, and so will we. So I'm excited, can't wait, and we hope to see you there. If you're in the prairies and you're not at the Winnipeg National Bank Challenger, you got to figure it out. So we'll see you guys there in Winnipeg. But now back to Toronto. What's going on in Toronto? Alcaraz is through. Like I said, the king just keeps rolling. That was not surprising at all. After Wimbledon, he's the king of the castle right now. I'm still in disbelief about what he did at Wimbledon. But he played Ben Shelton today, and as you can see here, it was fairly straightforward. 6-3, 7-6. Obviously got tight in the second set. Big serving from Shelton, a little bit of bang tennis. Went to a tiebreaker and went Alcaraz's way. So Alcaraz is rolling up in Canada. There is still a chance that we will be calling him Carlos Canada. He's playing Hubert Hurkacz next, though, who took out Kecmanovic with a bagel. We all know Hubert was a full-time employee of the Iga Świątek Bagel Factory in Poland. And Hubert Hurkacz has dished out another one after he dished out one to Roger Federer last year, or 2 years ago in Wimbledon. Or was that last year? Maybe last year. Anyways, so Alcaraz versus Hurkacz in the round of 16 in Toronto. Tommy Paul, big win for him. Beats Schwartzman in 3 and then beats Francisco Cerundolo in 3 as well. That's a good little run there for Tommy. If you needed a couple wins in a row, he will play the winner of Marcos Giron and Holger Rune. And then Gael Monfils takes out Stefanos Tsitsipas in 2 sets. Let's look at the score here. Let's look at some of the stats. Serve rating, not better for Monfils than Stefanos. First serve points, once only 69% for Stefanos, 85% for Monfils. Both similar on the second serve. And yeah, never broken. Gael Monfils did not get broken. So Stefanos, what is going on with Stefanos? What do you guys think? Is he just kind of fallen off from that, the top tier of tennis? If we think about tiers, people love talking about tiers. Tier 1 is obviously Carlos Alcaraz and Novak Djokovic. Tier 2, Daniil Medvedev. And then it seems like everyone else below that. But it's sad to see because historically I would definitely have said, before Carlos came around, it was like Tsitsipas, Medvedev, Zverev right there with the top guys. And it really feels like Tsitsipas is just coasting right now. He just won in Los Cabos, won the tournament, but then comes out here, winning a 250 as a guy who's trying to win majors right now does not cut it for him or for me. So yeah, just more choppy water. in the playing life of Stefanos Tsitsipas, well, the love life still looks like it's going strong. But yeah, that's a tough loss for Stefanos. What do you guys think? What do you think is going on with old Stefanos? We got Alexander Vukic taking out Borna Coric, and then Sebastian Korda. Hello. He's in the round of 16 to play Gael Monfils. One of those guys is going to make the final. And then here's another head scratcher. Felix Auger-Aliassime, the mayor of Montreal. I know we're not in Montreal. We're in Toronto. Loses to Max Purcell. Guys, I tweeted out today, this is getting bad. Felix Auger-Aliassime, I think, is 1-6. His last time he's won 2 matches in a row was back early in the clay season, or maybe even Miami. I saw a bunch of stats being thrown around on Twitter, and it doesn't matter to me. All I know is right now, Denis Shapovalov was going through the biggest slump of his career, and then Felix Auger-Aliassime said, hold my beer. I'm going to join you right there, and maybe even go a little deeper. The one caveat is both of these slumps had injuries mixed in there. So that happens. That's growing pains potentially of a career. But before this tournament, Fred Fontaine, the coach of Felix, said, we're not talking about injuries finally. We're just talking about Felix, and he can be able to play. But from what I saw in the highlights, he did not look like he was ready to play. I saw the videos of him practicing beforehand, and he was just falling off of balls, hitting them, weight moving backwards. And that's not, it's not 100% a bad thing all the time. But when Felix is playing confident and aggressive, that's when he's a threat to anyone on tour. But when he's not confident or aggressive, he can lose to almost anyone on the tour. And that kind of seemed like the case today. I mean, Max Purcell's had a great year on the Challenger Tour. He's won a few challengers. I think he won 3 in a row earlier in the year, and he's got his ranking up. He's like number 70 in the world now. So he's had good form. But again, we're talking about a top 10 player who won 3 ATP tournaments in a row last year against a challenger guy who won 3 tournaments on the Challenger Tour this year. Again, no shade on the Challenger Tour. Can't wait to be in Winnipeg, but I hope for more for Felix, and it's rough. He just looks like he has no confidence out there, but that can take time to come back after being injured for so long, to trust your body. So let's give him time, but it's just hard to see. It's hard to see him play. So not like there's just certain points where he just like, even on match point, he's stretching for a ball and he like lobs it, and it goes about 10 feet long, but he looks like he was like waiting to see if it would go in the whole time. It's like, if you're kind of really tuned in and into the flow, you kind of just know where the balls are going. It seems like, from what I've seen with other players, he just seems very rattled right now. So that's tough to see for Felix. But big win for Max Purcell, clearly. What do you guys think about that? Let me know your thoughts below. Then Max Purcell lost to Andy Murray, who already beat Lorenzo Sonego. So that's a nice little run for Andy Murray. He'll play Jannik Sinner, who took out Matteo Berrettini earlier in the round of 16 there. Then on to the bottom half, we've got Mackenzie McDonald taking out Andrei Rublev. Bad loss for Rublev. Great win for McDonald. He'll be playing hometown hero, Canadian hero, Milos Raonic, who's taken out Francis Tiafoe, Taro Daniels, and he's in the round of 16. And I mean, this guy, what did I say about him? I said, look, if Felix looks fit, I said Milos looks fit. If he can start to win matches each week and feel good out there, I see no reason why he retires. And you know what? Right away after that tweet, he's out here winning 2 matches in a row, looking like he's loving it, and serving bombs, and apparently smashing rackets. That crazy interaction at the net where Francis chased down a drop shot from Milos, hit the cross-court winner, amazing shot, but then ran into the net. And then Milos kind of realized that he ran into the net. He goes, oh, that's my point, right? And then Fergus called net, and then he corrected himself, Fergus Murphy, the umpire, and he said, oh, no, which a rule that, I don't know, no one knew. Francis ran into the part of the net that was outside of the singles post. There's like a little post there that increases the height of the net, and the doubles and the end of the net. He ran into that part of the net, and apparently that doesn't count as the net if you run into it. So it was Francis's point. I've never heard of that. Milos dropped an F-bomb. He couldn't believe it. And then after he realized that the ruling was overturned and he wasn't going to get his way, he went over and smashed his racket on the bench. Fairly gangster. But I've never seen Milos Raonic smash a racket before. So that was maybe a new Milos edition. He's more of a bad boy on tour. I like it. I like it. He's into the round of 16 versus Mackenzie McDonald. Look at that. Alejandro Davidovich Fokina into the round of 16 to play Casper Ruud, friend of the show. Casper Ruud making a nice little run there after he took up Felix last year at the National Bank Open. Taylor Fritz, Alex de Minaur. Alex de Minaur takes out friend of the show, Gabriel Diallo, who got his first tour level win. Big shout out to Gabriel Diallo. First tour level win against Dan Evans, who won the title in Washington last week. So you can say old man Dan was tired, but that's still a great win for Gabriel. Sorry, guys, I'm looking at the draw here, and I didn't have it up. Yeah. Anyways, Gabriel Diallo, Canadian, he will be in Winnipeg, and he had a nice win there. And then, was fairly close with Alex de Minaur. So that is great signs for the young, big, tall Canadian. Like this guy, if you don't know, if you guys have not been paying attention to, and you're a Canadian tennis fan, to Gabriel Diallo, he makes Felix Auger-Aliassime look small. Like he's 6 foot. What is he? I forget, 6'9" maybe. Like he's seriously tall. He's like NBA level, like tall. It's crazy. So yeah, that's a good win for him. We will see him in Winnipeg. Lorenzo Musetti through, taking out Thanasi Kokkinakis, who qualified, 3-setter, and Daniil Medvedev through as well to take out beats Arnaldi. Anyways, that is that. So that's where we are at in Toronto. Felix is out. Tsitsipas is out. Carlos Alcaraz, Carlos Canada is still in. Medvedev still in on the bottom. Medvedev, I made a mistake. He is not the defending champion. Pablo Carreño Busta is the defending champion from Montreal, but he's not playing this year. Medvedev won the tournament last time. It was in Toronto, if you remember that, beating Riley Opelka in the final. So that's that. Carlos is in. Medvedev's in. FAA and Tsitsipas are out. And it's a great tournament. So sad I'm not there, but excited to be in Winnipeg. Again, if you're in Winnipeg, come say hi. We will have a booth at the tournament, and we'll be making tons of content over the weekend. We're just there Saturday, Sunday. So come for the early rounds, support the qualifiers, and see the big dogs practice. It's going to be great. We'll see you there. And that's an update. That's the slice on the Canadian tennis action for the men. We'll see you guys soon.